What's up guys, it's Mindset Performance Coach Adam Carmichael here. In today's video, you're going to be learning how to maximize your gains and minimize your losses at the poker tables. Sounds like a pretty profitable 10 minutes of your time, right? Now before we dive into this video, I'm just making the assumption that you watching this are a profitable poker player, that you're beating the games that you're playing. If not, you might want to pause this video and go watch some strategy stuff before you start implementing what I'm going to tell you today. But if you are a winning player, you do beat the games, then we can power full speed ahead. So this video today was motivated by a few conversations I've had with my coaching clients recently on the concept of when do they make exploitation plays? When do they go with their gut, so to speak, and when do they rein it in? And when do they basically go for more edge, and when do they go for more of a minimizing their losses approach? All right, so the way I look at it and the way I want you guys to be thinking about this is, as a poker player, no matter whether you're an exploitation, intuition-based guy, or you're a GTO fundamentalist, when you sit down to play, you have a kind of default strategy, all right? A default way of thinking about poker, a default way of playing opponent types and beating the games that you're playing. So when you go to play, you're generally, or for a large part, going to be using this kind of default strategy. Now, if you've played poker for any period of time, you'll realize spots come up where you can deviate from your default, where you can make an exploitation play, all right? Whether it's an exploitation bluff, an exploitation call, and you're gonna make a play generally based on how you feel. You're gonna, in the moment, make a judgment call on, I'm going to go for more edge in this spot by making this play. And after working with lots of players over the last few years, I've realized the ability to make those decisions well or badly has a massive impact on your results. All right, the ability in the moment to go, am I calling here? Am I folding? Based on that kind of feel that you have. All right, so today's video, I want to make it really clear on how to maximize your edge and minimize your losses in these moments. So let's say you've sat down to play and you've had a really good warm up and you feel really good, confidence in the zone. You're playing good poker and a spot comes up where you feel like you can exploit your opponents by going with your gut instinct. You've got a real strong indication that this guy's bluffing here, and you're thinking of, oh, I normally fold here, but my gut instinct tells me I should call. What do you do? Now, what happens is, with a lot of players, if you don't get used to trusting your gut in those moments, you'll second guess it, and you'll put it from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind, and you'll start running through trying to consciously solve it, all right? So in these moments, when you're feeling good, you're feeling confident, your mood is good, your focus is heightened, you should get in the habit of trust your gut always. All right, trust your gut always. So imagine your win rate with your default strategy is at this level, and then when you start trusting your gut and getting those extra reads and those intuition plays, you can up your edge to here. All right, so I had a really good conversation with Jason Su, who is the author of the book Poker with Presence. And he talked about this concept where when you're feeling good, and your mood is heightened, you're almost getting access to more information. All right, so the conscious mind has a very limited amount of data points it can take information from, but the subconscious mind is almost limitless. It's got thousands of data points. So when you have this intuition feeling and you're feeling good, generally you've got access to more information, and you should use that information to increase your edge. All right, so you've got to build this connection with your gut feel and go in with it. Now, this is going to lead you to deviate from your normal strategy quite often in this mode. You're just going to go, oh, I felt like this was a call. I felt like that was a bluff. And you're going to go with it. All right, so when you feel in that kind of heightened mode, or you feel like you're confident, you're in the zone, you've got a good feel to your game, you should definitely be stepping up and going with your feel. All right, so that's the first step. All right, most players, unless you're a very logical guy, if you're someone who's watching this who's very logic driven, you might stop yourself doing this and you might go back to default and go, no, this is the strategy. I'm sticking to the default. I'm not changing. You might be a bit too rigid. So if you are, you've got to loosen the reins, so to speak, and start to build that connection between your gut feel and going with it. All right, so you've got to almost like build confidence in it. All right, so every time you go with your gut in those moments, double check, how did it feel? Was it the right decision? Was it good? And very often you'll see when you're in a heightened mode or in a good mood, playing well, you will make those decisions well. Even if you got the decision wrong, the framework of thinking was spot on. All right, now we get to the more interesting part and the bit where people make the most mistakes. So what happens is you get used to doing this and get used to using your gut feelings, and it feels good. Then you start making decisions where you lose and you're making the wrong intuitive decisions. So now imagine you sit down to play and you start those sessions well, but then you start losing and you start losing a bit of confidence. Let's say your mood drops a little bit, you're now in a negative frame of mind. You're a little bit frustrated, a little bit annoyed. Things are starting to get you a bit, nothing crazy, nothing like full-blown tilt, but you feel like your mood has dropped a little bit and you're not feeling 100% great about your game. Now, a spot comes up on the river and you normally would fold, but your mind starts going, I'm sick of folding today. This is a call. This is not a fold, I'm gonna call. And you start having a strong inkling, which feels like your gut feeling, that you're gonna make an exploitation play here. All right, you've been pushed around all day. This is where I'm gonna step back. All right, so now you're going with your gut and most likely you're gonna make a bad play. Now the reason being here is what feels like a gut feeling when you're in a negative frame of mind is generally not. It's generally your ego and your kind of personal mind wanting to make a decision and then you're feeling trying to go with that. All right, so for example, let's say some opponent's been very aggressive at you and you have a feeling like, I want to call here. That feeling when you're in a negative frame is often used trying to force the action and go, I'm not letting him push me around. I'm not allowing him to get one over on me. All right, so in this mode, you've got to minimize your losses. All right, you've got to revert back to default. So that extra feelings, intuition that you think you're using in those moments, you're not. All right, and you need to stop yourself trying to use that. All right, so if you feel like I'm just not very confident right now, or I'm just not in a great frame of mind, or just slightly below my normal, minimize your losses by going for your default strategy. All right, you've got to pay attention to this. All right, if you're paying attention to how you're thinking and feeling, you'll notice when you're a little bit frustrated. You'll notice when things aren't going your way and you're getting a little bit agitated. In those modes, remind yourself not to go with the intuition, not to go with those exploitation plays. All right, this is going to stop you going from those. So this is your baseline. In those modes, you want to stop yourself dropping really far below. All right, many players just destroy their winnings by trying to use big exploitation plays or going against their default strategy when they're not feeling good, when they're not focused, when they're not confident in their game. As a result, you actually have access to less information. So the way to envision this is when you're in this kind of negative frame of mind, what happens is the mind almost like it shrinks down the amount of information you have access to. All right, so you end up being very narrow with your focus. So what you think is like new data, I've got this gut read on this person, is generally not that at all. It's generally coming from an insecurity or a fear, and you're just like going to either call too wide, bluff too wide, or whatever your kind of default is. So you want to protect yourself from that. All right, so just do a check. All right, so some of you guys will take less risks in this state, but for the majority, most players take more risks. All right, so most players when they're in a negative frame of mind, they'll call off lighter, they'll bluff a bit wider, they'll generally be a bit more wide with their ranges and exploit, they'll take more risks. And in reality, you should be minimizing risks. Unless your default is to minimize risks too far, and then you need to consciously take more risks. All right, but generally, most people are trying to minimize risks. So what's happening here is your mood and how you feel is dictating your overall strategy. All right, so let's say let's just use some analogy. So let's say you're playing your B game as your default. Most of the time, it's going to stick to that solid strategy that you're playing. But when you're feeling good and you're in your A game, you have access to more edge by going with your reads, going with your intuition, and going with your gut. On the flip side, when you're in a negative frame of mind, you're going to lose your edge from your default strategy by using your gut and intuition. All right, and this drives players crazy because players do stuff like they'll call off in a spot and they go, I knew it was a fold, but at the time I kind of thought it was a call. So what they're doing is they're trying to go with their intuition in a moment where their intuition isn't firing. All right, so imagine that when you're in it, you're not confident, you're lacking, you're frustrated for whatever reason, the intuition you think you're using isn't there. The data you think you're picking up is not there. But on the flip side, when you're feeling good about your game, that intuition is quite accurate. It's very accurate, actually. Once you start to trust that, you can build a really strong exploitative playing style in those moments when you're playing good. But when you try and force it on the other side of the spectrum, that's when a lot of the damage gets done. So if you ever find yourself making decisions and then going, I think this is a call, I think this is a exploitable play, and then going with it, and then as soon as you've hit the button, after you go, shouldn't have done that. That was a bad play. That's a good sign that you were trying to use your intuition in a moment where you should have been minimizing risk. All right, so you've really got to pay attention to this. So to do this, like to make it practical for you guys, you've got to do a few things. So first of all, put yourself into an optimal state before you play. All right, so good warm up. All right, so the way I work with my clients, I teach them the 3 E's, which are number 1, erase. Erase all the noise that's going on, erase all the frustrations from the day, and you do this by meditating or journaling. Get yourself in a nice empty mind, calm state of mind. Don't take your personal life or things that have been happening for the day to the poker tables. Second thing is energize. Get your body moving. All right, so do some push-ups, do a little bit of walking, get maybe a cold shower, but something that energizes you and gets blood flow going through the body. The third thing is engage. Engage the mind with something poker specific, go over some hand histories, read about some session notes, create some goals for the session, get your mind thinking about poker and very active. If you do those 3 things, very often you'll be able to put yourself in a good state before you sit down to play. All right, so the warm-up is really, really important. Get used to how it feels to be playing good, to be in that kind of A-game zone and playing well. And then the key part is notice when you drop off. Notice when you drop off. Notice when you've dropped below your kind of peak level and you're now frustrated. You're lacking confidence. You're tired. Maybe you've had a bad night's sleep. Maybe you're just getting run over all day long and you've just had enough. Maybe just things that are starting to get to you, certain opponents is starting to agitate you. Whatever it is, be aware that you've changed, your internal state's changed, and now you don't want to be using your intuition as much. All right, so let's say there's a spot comes up, and you're unsure, you're on the fence, like, should I call, should I not call? You go for it, and you make an exploitation play. Now, what you should do there, as soon as it happens, check in with yourself. How am I feeling? Am I feeling confident? Am I playing good right now? Should I have went for that exploitation play? Or am I lacking confidence? I'm in a negative mood right now, and should I have went for the lower risk play or the minimizing risk play in that scenario? And just constantly be checking in with yourself. And what you'll find is, very often, you're making not enough exploitation plays when you're feeling really good. You should be like pushing that a bit further, taking more risks. And on the flip side, you're taking way too many risks and using way too many kind of feel-based decisions when things aren't going your way. And as a result, your ego, you're trying to force things, you're trying to make things happen which aren't. So you're actually minimizing your losses, minimizing your edge at the top, and you're maximizing losses at the bottom. All right, we want to flip that around. We want to maximize edge at the top, and we want to minimize losses at the bottom. All right, so this is a really good concept. I think you guys should be thinking about this. When I had the conversation with Jason Su, the author of Poker with Presence, I recommend reading that book if you haven't already. It's a really good read. It really opened up my eyes to how much your state of mind affects everything. All right, even from the strategy you should be using. Like, poker is very malleable. It's like there's so much decisions to be made. And you've got to understand, like, sometimes I want to be making really exploitative decisions, and sometimes I want to protect myself from myself. I want to protect myself from going to exploitation based when things aren't going my way. I'm sure you guys have all had those sessions where you're making all those plays and they're all bad plays because you're not going with your gut. And then what happens is, because you're so used to using your gut when you're in a negative frame of mind, you stop trusting it. Yeah, you stop trusting. You're like, I'm not going to trust my gut anymore because it's always wrong. And it's not actually true. It's like, it's actually very accurate when you're in the heightened state, but very negative when you're very bad when you're in a negative state. All right, so think about it. Positive state equals more information available, equals more edge, use it. Negative frame of mind equals closed mind, less information available. I'm generally using decisions based on fear, the ego, and it's based on less information, so minimize my losses. All right, have a go at those 2 concepts. Let me know how they go in practice for you. I want you guys to go away from my videos and actually implement something. So try to use that at the game. Try to be very conscious of what state of mind you're in, and you should have some big success with your exploitative plays. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Drop a comment below on your biggest takeaway from today's video, and don't forget to hit that like button before you go.